Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Record coming at you with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the WWE Ruthless Aggression Series 20, the masterpiece, Chris Masters. Yeah, here we are again with another blast from the past, so going back to the Jack Specific days and reviewing, honestly, actually probably one of my favorites growing up. Like, I definitely saw potential in this guy. I was never the biggest fan of Chris Masters back in the day, but I thought he could have been a lot more than what he was. Anyways, I'm actually surprised that after all these years, I never had a Chris Masters figure. Well, recently I went to if you've been following my channel for a while, you guys know that I go to a convention every year. That it's called RetroCon, whatever. I was just shopping around and I spotted this bad boy for about $10. I was like, you know what? Why not? So here he is. Looking forward to adding this figure to my growing collection of wrestlers that I grew up with, like from the Jax days as well as the Mattel days. The Mattel days. Anyways, first things first, packaging. Now, the Ruthless Aggression figures have gone through a lot of different packaging over the years, and this might be honestly one of my least favorite. I don't know, it's just kind of plain. There are parts of it I do like, but I don't know, it's just the overall design of it. I'm like, what were they really thinking with this one? Anyways, we got the Ruthless Aggression Series 20 up at the top there. We got Chris Masters on the side there. That's one part I like there. Of course, we got the glamour shot of Chris Masters right there. Of course, WWE logo, Chris Masters. Also, the photo, I always loved when they did this filter on the photos here. I always liked it when they did that. And they usually kept that uniform with pretty much every Ruthless Aggression packaging, whether the design changed or not. On the back, we have the other figures in the set. I always loved this quote up here. Don't be a punk, get them all. I always liked that. And then, of course, down below, we got advertising Ruthless Aggression Series 20, as well as Classic Superstars Series 10. And Ruthless Aggression Series 20, we got Kid Cash. Wow, I actually forgot about him. Of course, the Boogeyman, Chris Masters, Ric Flair, and Booker T. I don't know, I may get the Booker T down the road. That one's actually kind of a sleeper. Ric Flair, I'm glad they actually gave him that new torso. Yeah, with that one. Because he had like a very skinny torso up until this point. So this one's like a modern Ric Flair from that time period, which is pretty cool. And then Classic Superstars Series 10, we got Sabu, Mr. Perfect, Bruno Sammartino, Rocky Maivia, Gorilla Monsoon, Harley Race, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Greg the Hammer Valentine. Very strong set. However, Gorilla Monsoon and I think Harley Race, they actually had different torsos. Like the final figure had actually much bigger torsos for both guys, especially Gorilla in the final product. So it's weird so it's kind of funny seeing this very small torso for Gorilla. And I think this one made more sense because they made him way too big on the final product. I don't know why they changed it. Sabu, one of my favorites. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. Same thing with Bruno. And Mr. Perfect. Rocky Maivia, meh. Harley Race and Greg Valentine and Dusty Rhodes, very sleepers of the set. So who knows? You might see reviews of some of these figures down the road. Anyways, that about does it for the packaging. Let's open up the masterpiece, Chris Masters, and see how much of a masterpiece this figure really is. We'll be right back. All right, so here we have Chris Masters out of his packaging, and pretty solid figure. Not too bad. Like I said, not like the most exciting figure, but still very nice. Here's right into it. His only accessory is, of course, this was during the era when Jax just threw in random accessories with guys. And for Chris Masters, we got a little cookie sheet here, which you do have a little indent of a face. So that's obviously from, you know, somebody being slammed across the head with this bad boy. But wouldn't it be the top of the head? But hey, it's the face. But that's kind of cool how they did mold that in. It's like a hard plastic. It's not like... Actually, it's kind of flexible plastic somewhat. I thought that was like hard plastic, but no, it's actually flexible somewhat. That's pretty cool. Kind of random accessory, but alright. Now into Chris himself. Starting off with the face sculpt. Now, this head sculpt was used so many times on the Chris Masters Jax figures. And I don't blame them. This is a very good likeness to Chris Masters. A little too smiley, in my opinion. They could have given him like a little smirk, like a cocky smirk, instead of just like straight up smile. Because he was a heel during this run. This is basically based on his initial run in the WWE until he got released in 2007. Like, you know, from the gear and everything, and of course the era this figure came out. But even when he came back in 2009, I think they still used this same head sculpt for every figure. But anyways, still a good head sculpt. I think it still looks like him. Moving down, got white wrist tape, and of course, you know, pretty much a lot of Jax figures had these arms and this physique. For Chris Masters, this is one of the few guys where it makes sense, because if you can tell by the picture here on the packaging, during this era, like during the beginning of his first run, he was jacked, and he went away for a little bit, for about a month, because of his well-documented addiction issues, and that's when he really like shrunk down. So I'm assuming the reference photos for this were definitely when he first started, when he was like really like jacked. No pun intended. Of course, he's got the cross tattoo there on his forearm. Very nice attention to detail, because I know some of his figures do not have this. Who knows? I'll have to take a look at some of his older matches, but maybe there were some matches where he didn't have this yet. Who knows? Of course, the trunks got, of course, the Chris Masters logo with the arms there. On the back, CM for Chris Masters. Standard red knee pads and the white boots with the M on the front there. So very basic gear. And this was definitely when his gear was like very, very simple. During his second run, he had a little bit more designs to it, and the colors were more brighter. So it came a little bit more toyetic. So yeah, you can definitely tell this is from his initial run in the company. It's still pretty nice. Articulation, standard Jax for Ruthless Aggression. Head rotates side to side, can go up and down a little bit. Arms rotate 360, can go in and out. Rotate the bicep. Single joint in the elbow. We definitely come a long way with that. Now that we got double jointed, you know, from Mattel. Rotate the wrist and then hinge at the wrist. Swivel at the waist. Of course, legs forward and back. Bend the knee and hinge at the ankle. So yeah, basic Jax. So while not the most exciting Jax figure, still very solid. Definitely one of the sleepers. I think this figure is definitely the sleeper, and this might be probably the best Jax Chris Masters they ever did. So very underrated and very solid figure for a very underrated, very solid wrestler. So quick final thoughts. Overall, very solid and actually very underrated figure. Like, this figure might be a hidden gem. Like, I really like this. Definitely brings like memories, because I think I remember seeing this, Chris Masters in the store back then. I just never picked him up because I wasn't a fan of Jax figures back then. It was definitely brings back memories from that era, as well as watching this guy perform. Very underrated performer. I'm glad he definitely got a lot better during his second run, and he could have been a lot more, honestly, in my opinion. It's a shame he was underutilized. Anyways, I'm glad, he's gotten a lot better, not just in the ring, but on the mic, and of course his issues. As far as the figure itself, it's a very nice figure. I like the gear, great head scan, great posability, no loose joints. Jax figures definitely have a lot of loose joints, but this one's nice and tight. It was very solid. So I'd say if you're definitely a collector of Jax figures, and if you like the Chris Masters, I would say that's definitely a great figure to go with. Very nice figure, very underappreciated, very hidden gem. So I would say if you can find it for a good deal, snatch him up. Great addition to the collection. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my previous review, which was the Mattel Elite Series 110, Pretty Deadly. And also make sure to subscribe and run the bell so you don't miss a single review. And stay tuned for more reviews, not just WWE action figures, Mattel, as well as the old school Jax figures, but also AEW action figures, Toy-Ons, stop motions, some shorts, and a whole lot more. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Please rate, comment, subscribe. Until next time, remember, you can't touch my dream and you can't touch my soul. I'm out. Take care, guys.